Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I will be reading an Arlecchino Listener by me, so let's get into it. The night was cold, the air sharp and biting against your skin. You clutched your side as warm blood seeped through your fingers, staining your clothes. The attack had come out of nowhere, a shadow from the dark alley, a flash of silver, and a sharp, burning pain that left you staggering. The figure had vanished as quickly as it appeared, leaving you alone in the dimly lit street. Each step was a struggle as you tried to stay upright, your vision blurring. You had to find help. You had to find her. Arlecchino, he mumbled weakly, her name a plea on your lips, as you stumbled toward the house of the hearth. And the sound of hurried footsteps caught your ears, just before you collapsed onto the cold stone, and you barely registered the voice calling out to you, until a familiar presence knelt beside you. Her voice was sharp, and laced with a panic that was unfamiliar to hear. Her hands gently cupping your face, tilting it toward her. Her eyes scanned your pale features, and the blood soaking your clothes, and without wasting time, she picked you up, asking, "What happened?" Someone, it was a hit and run," you whispered, wincing as a fresh wave of pain shot through you. Her jaw tightened, a storm brewing in her gaze, as she glanced around the empty street, searching for the assailant. But then, her attention snapped back to you, and the anger melted into something softer, something vulnerable. "Stay with me. I'm going to take care of you," she said firmly, her voice quieter, but no less commanding. And you managed a weak smile. "I knew you'd find me." Her hands moved to press against your wound, applying pressure to stem the bleeding. "You're an idiot. What were you doing out here alone?" she muttered, though her tone was filled with worry. "I didn't think that," you began, but your words trailed off. Your strength fading. "Don't you dare pass out on me. Stay awake. Look at me. All right?" she snapped, leaning closer, and your eyes fluttered open, focusing on her face. Even in the haze of pain, you could see the fear etched into her features. It was rare to see Arlecchino like this, her usually composed demeanor cracking. I'm sorry," he whispered, and her grip on you tightened. "Don't apologize. Just focus on staying alive." She glanced down at your wound, her hands steady despite the blood pooling beneath them. "You're stronger than this. You'll get through it. I believe in you." You tried to nod, but the exhaustion pulling at you was overwhelming. "Arlie, I love you." Her breath hitched, and for a moment, her expression softened entirely. "I know," she said quietly. "And I love you too. That's why you're not allowed to leave me." He chuckled weakly, the sound barely escaping. "Bossy as ever." She huffed, though there was no real denial or irritation in her voice. "That I am. Now stop wasting energy talking and focus on staying awake." The distant sound of voices reached your ears, footsteps getting louder. And Arlecchino turned her head slightly, her sharp gaze cutting through the darkness as she called out, "Over here! Get me the medic." Within moments, other members of the house had appeared, their expressions shifting to alarm as they saw you lying in Arlecchino's arms. She barked orders at them, her voice steady and authoritative despite the turmoil in which she was feeling, and asked the work to stabilize you. Arlecchino never let go of your hand, her fingers firm around yours, grounding you, refusing to let you slip away. "You're going to be fine. You're too stubborn to let something like this stop you," she said, her voice leaving no room for doubt. And you gave her the faintest of smiles, clinging to her words as the world began to fade around the edges. "I'll hold you to that." "Good, because I'm not letting you go." Her hand squeezed yours tighter, and the last thing you saw before unconsciousness claimed you was the fierce determination in her eyes, a promise that she would do whatever it took to keep you safe. When you woke up, the first thing you noticed was the warmth of her hand in yours. The second was the dull ache in your side, bandaged and no longer bleeding. You blinked against the soft light of the room, turning your head to see Arlecchino sitting beside you, her posture tense, but her expression softening as she realized you're awake. "Hey," you murmured. "Guess I made it." Her lips pressed into a thin line, and she shook her head. "Barely. You worried me." "I'm sorry. Thank you for doing all of this," he whispered, and she leaned close, her forehead resting against yours for a brief moment. "I won't be thanked for my duty, all right?" He chuckled and nodded, pressing a soft kiss to her palm. And as she sat with you, her presence a steady comfort, he knew that no matter what dangers lay ahead, she would always be there to protect you, to do everything she can just to see you smile another day.